Welcome back, everybody. You are watching Lobby Legends Raid Leaders, the premier Hearthstone Battlegrounds official esports event. Here we are again, Slissa. I am giving you a third chance to do something cool with my name. Anything?
Oh, God, I forgot. I mean, your name doesn't need anything cool because it's just cool enough as it is. Okay, Gia D. That's just such a cute name. It's 3 letters, 3 letters. It's just beautiful as is. It's just Gia D.
Yeah, my full name is much longer than that, and I refuse to use it, so I've turned it down as short as it can go. But we do have amazingly the hero selection right from the get-go here.
Look at this technology.
I know, right? This is so close because I'm a big fan of Akazamzarak just as a safe pick, but the Galliwix is in and the cat is in, and we see Kurt going for big greed here. What do you think?
I mean, he picked this over Galliwix, correct? I mean, that is quite the play. I feel like Galliwix is an auto first normally, so I didn't even think that the cat needed to be that greedy over a Galliwix. But there are no beasts in, so that's taking away that cleave on tier 4 along with a token, and maybe that's what he's considering here. There's also no Murloc, so no crazy Amalgadon stuff going on, so maybe he's just thinking cat is better because I can't tempo spike on tier 4 with the Cave Hydra.
That 8 armor
shenanigans
is indeed pretty juicy here. But yeah, Galliwix is just such an interesting talking point because I completely agree with you on ladder that Galli feels like an auto win. But perhaps for this tournament in particular, where you know you're playing against the best players in the world who are going to punish you for even the smallest mistake, people are a bit more afraid to go for it. And Galliwix, of course, actually had not the greatest stats during the qualifiers. I heard it was underperforming compared to what you expect. Yeah.
Oh, look at this early amalgam steal from Cutter Butter. I am just so thrilled to see this early steal because he's going to also be able to steal the buddy from Curator soon enough. And basically, he's a better Curator.
True. And I think that the implications of this is huge, that there's a curator and the scabs with the buddy, because with this particular lobby, Murlocs are out, right? So it's really hard to get poison, which means that big stats are a great way to go and win the lobby, just scaling up and up and up, which is something that curator does very consistently with the buddy and the main amalgam at the beginning. And also pirates are in, so you can do that with Peggy, like mechs are in, so you can put Divine Shield on them.
Very true. I love all these points. Yeah, a lot of people are a little bit afraid to pick Curator without Murlocs, but he's definitely viable. So, I mean, that fear isn't there. Godema gets the 1 gold coin, meaning that his opponent's tied. Don't love to see that for him. Freezing the pair. It looks like he's just maybe freezing to make the decision. Of what he wants to do here, because the gold is interesting. He could level and not use his gold coin in hand with that pirate. Instead to double buy, maybe?
Yeah, there's so many lines that he can take here. He takes the approach of maximum tempo right now. The Elemental is a great one because it really only costs 1 gold in the long run. And because he's buying another Swabby, he's also making up for the late leveling. Just trying to make sure that he wins the next fight and also potentially get even more buddy meter, which I do like. Premium 1-drop minions. Staying down for those is usually worth it. Be nice though, with the insta value trade here means that, okay, he doesn't quite win the fight, but I think he had some odds too with that first trade.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see Be Nice on the Daryl, because we talked about how we will see more Daryl picks because it's a safer pick. It's likely going to get top 4. And we saw Be Nice got first round 1, so he's looking for safe heroes now. He doesn't need to be greedy like the other players do, which we saw like with Kurt with the picking Mr. Bigglesworth. So now we see Daryl has a triple in the shop. But does he want to triple? Usually you don't want to triple with Daryl, so this is actually a really awkward turn.
Right. If he truly doesn't want the triple, he could do something like buy this elemental and then sell a Quillbore and then buy the other Geomancer. But instead, he does take the triple here and ends up with super interesting choices. Like, you can get
Interesting.
value from the boar because staying on tier 1, you can cycle a lot of Quillbore pretty decently and just get extra gems. Like, Selfless is amazing in the late game mode, but playing it this early means that likely he's going to sell it later on. But he goes with option number 3 of Party Elemental, which I did not expect.
Yeah, I guess it's like a current buff. Maybe he's thinking that he's going to end up buying a lot of elementals and have a second elemental on the board to get buffed with it. But it's not guaranteed that it won't go on this elemental every turn. So not sure. And we can see over here, Hoff on Millhouse has a bunch of pairs, a lot of good minions for Millhouse with the level pirate and the refreshing anomaly, getting to the buddy early as well. He is tier 2, so can still cycle 1-drops for those triples. Likely going to level this turn, though. Does 6 damage to Kurt on the cat.
Huge that he gets the buddy this turn as well. Very nice with all of these 1-drops on board, and he can take a triple. And I also want to point out that this is almost an ideal Millhouse lobby, if not the ideal in terms of minion types that are in, because Millhouse likes to see elementals, pirates, and not beasts and not murlocs, because those two minion types are heavy on cycling, which is something that Millhouse struggles with. Cycling refreshes, I should mean. Millhouse cycles minions in the shop with just buying and selling very efficiently. Over on Ken's side, I don't know if he has the Swabby pair. Yes, he does. Okay, double triples available here, but will he go for a 4 or a 5? At least 1 4.
Okay. Dynamic Duo is interesting because he does have a Amalgadon that can have Quillbore gems put on it, especially once he gets the buddy to Amalgam, which is Mishmash, which is maybe the only buddy's name that I know. Because it's just so cute.
Don't you know Rakara's buddy's name? It's a dog. You called me out on not knowing it.
Okay, let's not turn this around on me, okay? Let's focus on what's important here, which is that he's going to be tripling into a 5-drop, which means he's focused on getting either Lightfang, Bran, or Agam. Agam is also a very good tool with Menagerie, and he does have the duo.
Up, gets the buddy now as well. And potentially can get a mishmash for himself straight away. Oh wait, no, it's the next one.
No, it's too. He needed to face Amalgam the next turn. He faced Amalgam a turn early, unfortunately.
Still gets a 5-drop though. Ooh. Hogger.
Mithrax.
Nobody wants the Hogger.
They don't want to give us happiness, but you know, Mithrax is technically the play here. He has Menagerie going with the Amalgam. Didn't take the second Amalgam, which is fair.
This is the second time we've seen Mithrax taken over Hogger, and I am mad about it, but I know why. Mithrax is just amazing in the meta right now that it's been buffed to getting +2/+2 for each minion type at the end of the turn, up from +2/+1. It's just an amazing tempo minion. But over here for Kurt, honestly, performing super well on Cat so far, not taking very much damage, and that's all you really want to do as Cat. You wait for everybody else to die, and then kill their best minions. On the 5-drop pick, though, it's not particularly good minions in terms of direction. A lot of economy options, though. Ends up with Murazon and hits. Dynamic Duo, which is like decent stats for now, but there's really no direction going on in this board.
Yeah, it's important to point out that everyone whiffed on their 5-drop triple. We saw Hoff on Millhouse was offered Tempest and Murazond and Spore, and then we see that over here. Like, everyone's whiffing on the 5-drop except for Cutterbutter, who got the Mithrax. So keep that in mind. Like, yeah, this was a whiff. Someone else whiffed. Everyone's whiffing. But except for the Mithrax. That was the best one that we saw with the Cutterbutter.
Yeah, Sottle telling us that 3 different people got offered Spore plus Murazon as their triple discover at the exact same time. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's really unlikely too, because of, you know, they're getting offers from the same pool.
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunately, getting this Warden that does nothing.
Yeah, it's just money, I guess.
But But
And
we have Say is in the danger zone, 13 health, and Kurt is up against him. So is Kurt looking to level here, or is he looking to just deal as much damage as possible to Say so that he can end up getting one of his minions discovered?
I honestly feel that's super dependent on what he's reading from Maiev here. You could just be waiting also for Maiev to complete the majority of their turn, because around 9 gold, you expect Sesese as Maiev to have some sort of spike, maybe hit a triple. And if you don't see the Maiev tripling, then you can think that, okay, maybe there's still one more turn in their setup. Maybe they're waiting for the dormant minion to be gotten the next turn, and that's when they really spike heavily. And depending on that, you could take a lot of damage or none at all. So Kurt here makes the read that he's safe enough to level up to 5. Still a relatively strong board there for Sesese though, so I'm not sure if it's going to work in Kurt's favor, but at least he has a lot of health to work with. Meanwhile, Satellite with the brand setup and Jug as curator, that is just the best feeling in the world.
And the Peggy. I'm loving all these players optimizing Peggy right now. Very exciting because he has 2 other pirates on board and one of them would buff the other one. So I do love that he was able to get to Brand, get these amalgams growing. And we see the cat has gotten to a light fang. But is this enough to destroy the holy Meckrel?
Yeah, I mean, pretty unfortunate trades for Sesese at the beginning, like the shield off of the first half of Bronze Warden getting sniped before the Meckerel could refresh, and then the Deflecto also getting sniped before the resets from the Micro Mummies, but he is still very much strong enough to take the victory here, deals a decent chunk of damage to Kurt on the Bigglesworth, and now Sesese gets to start spiking, because his buddy Dormant is going to unlock this turn and go for a... Yep, I was hesitating. I wasn't 100% sure, but now I am, and he can go for a Mega Buster.
Also pointing out that Goddammit has gone into the danger zone. And I love that you've picked up that we're calling it the danger zone and that we've coined this term. It is the danger zone. So the pickup of the ground shaker, does this mean he's going for a 5? Yes, it does. Finds an Agam. A boar, I'm just gonna call it Pumbaa, but is this boar here? I'm sorry if I keep calling it Pumbaa. That is my name I have given him. So this is going to be the start to a ground shaker comp, which usually you want to find divine shields, taunt and the gem splitter will be able to give way more gems for the ground shaker. Over here on SJMR, we have a triple into a 6-drop hitting Amalgadon, Charlga, and Genie. Does look like that was what he wanted. He likely, if he doesn't have Bran, is a bit scared of this Amalgadon right now. Could be a bit early. I'm curious to see where he goes here. Yeah, has to go with the Charlga for the buff of the stats. He does have this Dragon Whelp to help with the health of his Chroma Wing in the front, which will have Taunt.
Right, the Golden Whelp Smuggler works very well with both Charlga and Caligos for the dragons, making sure they can scale their health as well as their attack. And that's super relevant for this evolved Chroma Wing, which is, you know, generally a glass cannon minion, but if you can scale the health on it, it can absolutely be the carry of your comp. Just an amazing one drop to have. It's actually the first Alakir we've seen all day as well, which to me is a shock because I'm a big fan of Alakir in the meta. It's not the perfect lobby for it because mechs are still in, and generally Alakir wants to see mechs out so they can really utilize poison, but it's still a very good tempo hero, and with Quilboar in, I feel like it's a pretty good choice for Menagerie as well because it's one of the few heroes that has a buddy with a minion type on it in Elemental.
Yeah, he was nerfed a bit when Myexna left because it didn't no longer allowed for this reborn divine shield Myexna infinite craziness. But over here with Goddammit, he's at 5 health. Satellite has now fallen into the danger zone as well. So 3 players on the brink of going out. Also notice that our Mr. Bigglesworth is starting to fall off. He hasn't been fed. He is a hungry cat and needs some food. So he's hoping someone in the danger zone goes out soon. But Goddammit, finding direction in the ground shakers, has 3 gems in hand, looking at 4 on the board and using Peggy's to scale that briny bootlegger on the board so that he has a spare minion with some decent stats.
That's right. The Peggy has great synergy with Quillbore too because every Blood Gem counts as a card added to the hand as well. Goddammit kind of scraping together some sort of scaling here. It's pretty difficult to make it work, but he has a lot of money from this turn due to the Barov Buddy. Is it going to be enough to beat Hoff on the Millhouse though? It's been a while since we've checked in here. It's not particularly good stats for Goddammit. I'm worried for him, but hopefully the attack buffs from the Ground Shaker is going to be enough here.
If he gets the hero power off in time, 2 seconds on the clock. Presses, goes with Cat in a dream. Let's go. Yep. 1 gem in hand.
There we go. It's some Divine Shield minions, which is very annoying to see for Goddammit because a lot of his minions are just glass cannons. They don't necessarily value trade all that well. However, there is tons of stats on the Golden Briny Bootlegger and a decent amount on the Mithrax as well, which allows him to value trade and still take a convincing victory over Millhouse. Goddammit lives to see another day. One of the favorites of the tournament is not going down so easily. He was in this position last lobby as well, where he fell to the bottom in the mid game as Edwin, but still managed to scrape together a third.
Say also manages to stay alive while getting the buddy in hand. Does that mean the cat goes unfed, or is Curator gonna die? Cat is going unfed, but luckily stays alive and gets the golden buddy, so the cat will be tripling. And now we see tripling into Caligos, Flat Tusk, or Amalgadon. Kurt is facing off versus the last place player, and so probably keeping that in mind. Has that player power spiked, or do I need to play it safe? What's going on here? And we have a menagerie board going on, so the Amalgadon has a place for it here, but no Bran in hand currently, so a little scary just to tempo out. Could consider getting out of the buddy at this point. It's not really necessary anymore to create value, but he's sitting here. Oh, I was
Okay.
Got the
We're back in sync.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. I was honestly kind of tempted by the Flat Tusk because he does have that menagerie setup, but I keep forgetting you need the Agam to really make it work. Otherwise, the Flat Tusk is terrible. So Kurt going with a safer play, and I do think that he has many reasons to double down on just getting as strong as possible this turn, because killing the Barov not only means that he is, one less player in the lobby, it's also a direct benefit to Bigglesworth that gets to immediately pillage that board for something.
Excellent ordering, making sure that once he gets this Amalgadon out, that the Peggy starts buffing the Amalgadon and not the other pirate that was on the board. So unfortunately, both of his Amalgadons have what the other is missing. One has Divine Shield, one has Poison. So those are minions that need to go together to create one harmonious amalgam. But he's looking to be in a pretty decent position. No? Oh, no. No.
Depends. I mean, this Chromoing surviving at 1 health is such a big deal. It just kind of depends how these trades on the tokens go. Will the Briny Bootlegger go left? No, it is not. But okay, the Chromoing goes through. And so that means it's Goddammit out in 8th place, maybe tied with someone else, depending on if they died. And yes, Sesei also goes out. So 2 of the, and the Curator. Wow.
Big turn for Cat coming up. Kurt, get all the minions. Let's go. And he gets a ghost. He's facing a ghost this turn too.
Oh my gosh. Kurt is in contention to just straight up win the lobby. He has Bran or a golden minion. This is so cool. I want to take the Bran though.
And there's a triple in shop. And he's facing a ghost. Oh my gosh, so many decisions, 70 seconds. Let's see what he ends up doing. Goes for the golden. And last pick, probably a Mithrax. Oh, takes the puppet so he doesn't have to buy the triple.
True.
Interesting.
Money. He can level to 6 here pretty comfortably, I think. Not amazing choices, but sure. I mean, Caligos is some scaling here. Maybe he can get out of, I hate to say it, Peggy.
Yeah, I think Peggy's turn to go because we have so much scale currently. There's another Light Fang in the shop. He's facing a ghost. He could use it this turn if he wants to. Still has another golden though. I think he sell out of there.
The dynamic duo.
Oh yeah,
I think he might still sell Peggy at the end of the turn, but he knows he's still getting cards in hand in the meantime, so it's good order once again to maximize the buffs before getting out of Peggy. Finds the triple on the Amalgadon, so it's become one harmonious unit as you were talking about, and he can continue rolling here on tier 6 to find even more of those. It's hard to get a full board of Amalgadons with 3 of them already out of the pool, and also no Murlocs to go fishing with Primal Fins and Seafood Slinger, but there's also now a Bran in the shop.
Buy it!
No! Wow!
I did
Again. Oh, floats 2 gold at the end there though, which is not ideal. He could at the very least have bought another battle cry to keep the Caligos stats going. I kind of agree with you that the brand was where my eyes were headed, but
3 gold, you know, yeah.
Tip and Bob is a big deal.
And we see over here Hoff on Millhouse with a big strong board, able to beat out Cutter Butter. Who's Cutter Butter? Oh, Ken. Oh, and Alakir goes out this turn.
Oof. Big deal. I thought SJMR had a pretty good setup there, but couldn't quite capitalize on that tempo. Maybe whiffed on the discovers later on because people are really starting to scale out of control. Now we have Hoff on the Peggy Hogger comp, which is just unlimited stats as Millhouse as long as there is a pirate in shop. Only 1 here remaining and no elemental, so you can't get the discounted cycle either. But there's 1 here again. The Quill Bar is honestly pretty worth it. I think the Sunbacon it's just a lot of stats with Golden Peggy and your Millhouse. It's very cheap.
I want to point out that we're facing a ghost with 4 people in the lobby. So that usually means somebody conceded early.
Oh, you're right. Maybe it's a visual bug. It's sometimes happening with Onyxia is what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah,
I don't really see that with these minions, but yeah, I think it's a desync. Obviously, our players wouldn't concede in a position like this, so we'll get some confirmation on what's happening a bit later. For now, though, just good elemental cycling, a lot more pirates in the shop and a refreshing elemental, so Hoff has a lot of actions to get done still. 20 seconds on the clock. Millhouse usually means you gotta do a lot of steering. Sometimes you just gotta shut your brain off and buy every good minion, and every minion in the shop is good for him here. Decides not to taunt any additional minions. I think that's a good call. There is kind of a situation where you say, oh, Strong Shell Scavenger is down to tier 4 now, taunting more minions, especially with the brand feels pretty good indeed, but that is kind of scary with cleaves available potentially from the mechs.
Yeah, and facing off versus Alakir, who you know has probably a bunch of Divine Shield minions that could have Divine Shield poison, which he does have. So that would have been a very scary situation. So wanting it to hit the brand, which it does. So good play on his side of the board.
Apparently, we're getting word that both Finley and Millhouse fought. No, there's no Finley. Sawdall, that's a Daryl.
This is why Sawdall's behind the camera and not in front of it, because he thinks Sir Finley is dancing Daryl.
All right. So apparently we've discovered a new interaction in Battlegrounds, maybe a side effect of many players wiping out on the same turn. I honestly do not know, but that kind of means that the Bigglesworth is only just getting stronger and stronger, more people dying. This is an easy first for Kurt.
Yes, Kurt with that pick of Mr. Bigglesworth over Gallywix left us baffled, but he knew what he was doing. He's now looking at a golden Spirit of Air or Amalgadon. I don't think he has the brand, so the Spirit of Air might be a better pick, but at the same time, is he regretting getting the Spirit of Air from the last player? Not sure.
Calling the buddy by name, Slissa. I see you've picked up the tech of reading the cards. That's, yes, you're learning very quickly.
I'm learning to read at a lovely age of 32.
Spirit of Air is an amazing buddy as well for the late game. It is just kind of like a golden selfless hero. That's another reason why I like Alakir so much. But Kurt says, not worth it. He wants to keep scaling on this board because he's far enough ahead at 18 health and 2 Amalgadons that he doesn't need to play for max maximum defensive capability this turn. It's just about getting more battle cries with the Caligos. Make sure that there's no chance for people to pull the rug out from under him and sneak a victory, because it's very simple from this point.
Yeah, and I like this Prester just staying in because he's facing Dancing Daryl, so can make the assumption that there are some Divine Shields on the other side of the board, even if he hasn't faced them. I think we can all assume that. So I love this play. He's very in the zone right now. You can tell he's in it to win it. He knows he needs this comeback from the last game. Though if Daryl goes first, he has that Mega Wind Fury, but luckily for Kurt, he does get to attack first, does not have to deal with the wrath of Mega Wind Fury.
Right. And this Pyro Spawn is huge, not only to shave off the shields, but essentially that Acolyte tech at the end for Daryl dying for free. It absolutely did nothing. Both halves of it getting chewed up by that 3 damage pew pew from the Pyro Spawn. It is an overwhelming victory for Kurt here, who pretty much knows he's in first place. And, you know, I think reading over his player info that we asked for, it's all starting to make sense, Lissa. He says his playstyle is adaptive with an affinity for greed. He greeted with the cat, he's greeting for the first place, and it's working out.
Yeah, look at this beautiful Mega Wind Fury, which isn't Mega Wind Fury is a tech for situations. I can't quite remember what's on Hoff's side of the board right now, so not sure if Mega Wind Fury is necessary. Do you remember what he's playing? He is playing, oh yes, the Big Hogger, which I should have been aware of. I should have remembered this. I do apologize. So many elementals in the shop to get some free rolls going and getting more stats on the Hogger. But is the stats enough? We shouldn't be focusing too much on stats right now with Poison on the horizon. But I don't know if they faced each other recently to know how many poisons Mr. Bigglesworth has.
I'm going to let you in on a secret, Slissa. If you spend your time casting apologizing for what you forget, half of the cast will be apologies. It just happens. You lose brain cells becoming
No,
a
that's
caster.
the only time I've ever forgotten anything, so I'm just, that 5-head.
I mean, I cannot deny it.
Yeah, it looks like Kurt is in a really good position with these poisons. Hoff's still working on stats on the other side, but stats don't matter to poison. So Kurt looking in a dominating position.
Absolutely. There is just no way to beat the poison here for Millhouse at the moment. I feel if he had more time, there was maybe a chance to try and go toe-to-toe if he got more scaling, plus exactly a selfless hero with Baron. But then again, it doesn't really beat the Pyro Spawn either. The Bigglesworth from Kurt simply ran away with the value too quickly. That being said, though, this could end up in a tie.
Yeah, he did hide his big minion in the back, and this Malgadon doesn't have plants. So because the Hogger was hidden a bit farther back with the smaller minions up front, he was able to protect it from the 2 scary Malgadons.
True. And now Hoff has that all-important information here. A triple on the Recycling Wraith available as well. Could hit another Hogger and just level straight up to 6 because he prints money, literally.
So much money.
Yeah.
Going for that triple, getting into the 6.
Oh, big whiff. No
much
Malgadon.
of anything.
Is here on 5 though, and there's a lot of elementals, so he can at least keep scaling the Hogger. He has a Bran. But the thing is, he knows that poison is still a huge problem for him. He can take value trades with the rest of the minions, and that's like the positioning you're talking about coming in clutch for that last fight. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for the next fight, because now Kurt also has the information on how to position a bit better to beat that Hogger, maybe teching in another poison towards the end of the comp.
Yep, exactly. You just end on a spore. A 1/1 can defeat a 200+ minion easily. We do see a ghoul in hand that does defeat a 1/1. So maybe I'm wrong.
But it could be a 2/2 because Kobor are in.
The dream. 2/2 poison. Let's see what Kurt has come up with on the other side. Will Hoff be able to stay alive to the Divine Shield of Malgadons?
Ooh, Nadina. Yeah, and the ghoul goes off before it, and it means that all the shields on the Amalgadons are just refreshed. Yeah, there is no chance for Hoff here whatsoever.
No, and now it's gonna get one back with the Spirit Elemental getting a Divine Shield back to the Amalgadon, and Kurt takes lobby 2 for lobby B, game 2 for lobby B. Kurt needed this due to game 1 not going too much in his favor, so he's going to turn it around, and we can see on the points board, Be Nice still in first place with that consistent first and third, Hoff in second with consistent top twos. Kurt now in third place with that first place finish, and Ken right behind in fourth.
It's true. We have a very different story after second lobby of Lobby B compared to Lobby A today, where it is more condensed towards the top 3, where people are close in the point differences, whereas there's kind of a big gap from third to fourth place. However, that just means that it's going to be a scrap for that fourth in particular. Be Nice, Hoff, and Kurt to a certain extent feeling very confident here. They just need to make sure they don't absolutely punt and wipe out an 8th in the last lobby. But between Ken all the way down to SJMR, it could still be anyone making it through in the 4th place slot. Again, on day 1, it doesn't matter if you're 1st or 4th, it's just about making it to Sunday. Unfortunately, though, we do have one player that looks like they have a very slim chance of making it through.
Yeah, that is quite unfortunate. But I do really look forward to day 2 tomorrow. For those who don't know, tomorrow is going to be the top 8 players from both lobbies today, top 4 from lobby A, top 4 from lobby B, and we will be playing in a check format, meaning that once you get to 20 points, the lobby will be in check, and you will have to get a first place after receiving 20 points in order to end the tournament and win it all, meaning that we end on a high. We end with whoever gets the last first place wins it all. Super exciting. And I know all these players here are just dying to get to that top 8 position.
Absolutely. It also means that we don't necessarily have a hard cap on how many games will be played out. We only have 6 guaranteed total today, games played out. But tomorrow, it could be that one player enters check and then everybody bullies them for the next 3 or 4 lobbies. So it could be that all 8 players accrue 20 points before one person takes a first place victory. It could be a long slobber knocker of Battlegrounds action.
A slobber knocker?
Yeah, do you not watch wrestling, or did you not?
Is that a wrestling term?
I mean, I learned it from watching wrestling as a kid.
I've never watched wrestling except for The Rock. You know, I know what he's cooking, but I don't know any wrestling terms, I guess. No.
But do you know what it smells like, what he's cooking?
Oh, yeah.